Hey everyone, I'm Scott from ScottHermanFitness.com, and as you can see, we're laying down the rubber floor in my studio. Now we've already laid down one piece, which is this edge piece right here. This is my first time laying down a rubber floor, so now that I've done one side, I feel confident in telling you some of the tips and tricks I learned throughout this last 50 feet. The first thing you want to do obviously is do a corner piece. Get that strip done first so that you have something to go off of for the rest of the floor. So if that piece takes you twice as long to get it perfect, then that's what you need to do. For me, I laid it down, put some glue down here first, so I had the mat totally rolled up, okay? Pulled up the side, laid down some glue, put it down, and then did a little cut right here around this edge to make it nice and flush. Now, before you start laying down your rubber floor, you want to unroll all of your rubber and let it kind of sit for a couple days so it's nice and flat. Give it some time to breathe. You want to make sure that when you do lay it, that it's not going to expand or shrink on you, and it's actually laying down where it's supposed to be long enough. Depending on where you live, if it's too cold or too hot, you want to make sure that rubber's on the floor in its natural position, and when you come back after a couple days of it sitting there, you'll be able to see if it's gonna needs to be moved or adjusted. So what we're gonna do right now is lay down the second piece. Now, one other thing that we did, so this piece isn't down right now, is we put glue on this piece up to about here, because it's a lot easier to lift this edge up a little bit and stick some glue in there if we have to make sure that these both line up and we didn't make a mess with our glue on the side. So what we're going to do is take the glue and roll this back just a little bit. We're going to lay some glue right here, roll it back over, and then we're going to start from over there and roll the floor all the way back as tight as we can. And then, every 1.5 to 2 feet, we're going to lay some glue, roll the floor, and just do it like that. Nice slow process to make sure it goes perfect. So my brother Patrick has the glue. You're going to need some troughs with a 3/16 edge. You'll need some rubber floor glue, and then you're going to need a 100-pound roller, which is this item over here, so that after you lay the floor down with the glue, you can kind of go back and forth and make sure it's nice and flush. So let's put some glue right here real quick. We have a little system we've been doing. Easiest way to do it that I found is just hold the trough, stick your edge in like this, and just come out and just lay a thick surface. Get it nice and butted up to the edge where you want it. And then once it's kind of down, then take the perforated edge and then start to spread it. So we're going to spread this out real quick. All right, so we laid down some glue. Now I'm gonna roll the rubber over and line up the edges. Can you get that underneath that handle? This is important. This is gonna set up the rest of the layout, so you wanna get this perfect over here. Nice. All right, so Patrick, I want you to come over here and hold this so it stays nice and tight, okay? Got it? Hold it nice and tight. So this is a quick trick that I've learned from doing this, and the reason how I learned it is being up against the wall and trying to move the floor. I noticed the floor sliding underneath my feet. This glue, when it's wet, it kind of acts like a slip and slide for the floor, but a very little bit, so you can actually get on your hands and knees and adjust the floor with your hand. I'm gonna show you right now. Before you do that, make sure there's no glue on your hands to get on the top of the floor. It's a nice part. Okay, you ready? Just watch that side for me. So all you gotta do, you can't really see it move from where you are, but if you start at the bottom and adjust it like this, it really helps push the floor forward, especially against the wall. Okay. Once the floor is in place, then go over it with the roller just to get all the air bubbles out of the glue. So let's go back and forth at a time. So now what we're going to do is roll the floor back up as tight as we can so that we can lay it down little by little until we get all the way to the end. Probably the hardest part is getting it started because you want it to be super, super tight because it'll flop on you as you roll it. So, now that we've rolled to the end, we're just going to keep laying down glue and then roll the floor forward. So now once again, just going to lay out some rubber. You definitely want to make sure the edges are buttoned up together and staying together strong. Now we're just going to keep doing the same thing over and over again. Alright guys, so we're almost done. We have one more strip to do to finish the floor. It was getting late, so I decided to build a house and sleep here. So, it's my house right there. So it actually worked out really well because the last strip is so tight against the wall that we have to fold it over this way, glue one side, and then fold it over the other way just to get it to snug in there, which is perfect because we don't want any extra space. So I'm really happy about that. And then if you look over here, we have a strip laid out, and that strip is going to be cut to fill this area. So right now it's being laid out so it can air out and stay flat, so that when we lay it down, it's gonna be the right length so things don't move when it gets hotter or colder. So almost done. There's been a couple of tricks that we've shown you so far to make sure if you try this at home or in your own studio, you can do it. Basically, the last trick, which I can show you guys, is cutting the rubber. As you can see over here in this corner, we had to cut it down. We have a bunch of weights, so we're using weights just to kind of hold different areas down. But when you cut the rubber, you want to push it against the wall as hard as you can. And you want to overcut it as opposed to undercut it, and then just keep trimming it. So when I first cut it, it was kind of floppy. It was a little bit too much there, so I just kept pulling it out and trimming it a little bit at a time to make sure it's nice and snug, which is pretty clear, but you want to make sure. You can always cut more off. You can't add more back on there. So we're gonna finish this floor, and we'll give you guys an update in a little bit. So we're finally finished the floor. As you guys can see, it looks really good. We got all the seams to line up, and then as you lay out the floor, you want to make sure you have someone following behind you with a 100-pound roller, just to make sure everything gets nice and flat, the glue spreads and sticks nicely. So, hope you guys liked that demonstration video. The reason why I made it is because I couldn't really find anything on YouTube on how to glue down the floor. So I figured I'd help you out, and you guys can learn through my mistakes and my non-mistakes. So thanks guys, until next time, see you later.